A question that relates more to Council 3. I know it's cold in here, isn't it? I agree completely. Turn up the heat. Banyan Drive in Hilo, and this is something you mentioned, Ms. Leloy, and I know it's a concern for you as well. Banyan Drive has the potential to be a major economic driver for Hilo, and as you know, the state has been both a controlling and a limiting factor in moving forward on Banyan Drive. So now we have this community-based advisory authority to help direct Banyan Drive's future. And my first question is, have you gone to any of their meetings?
I haven't been able to go to any of the meetings.
Have you gone to any of their meetings?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's start with you, Ms. Klee.
Okay.
How do you see the work of that authority being moved forward?
I think it's a great thing, you know, being able to utilize that board. I believe it was the Tsunami Redevelopment Board prior, and being able to kind of reincarnate this board and having them as the driving force to set the development. In speaking with Drew Kanuha with the planning department and getting information on where they're at in terms of the conceptual plan, working towards the master plan, we can only see good things coming out of the redevelopment and revitalization of Banyan Drive. You know, we have so many events happening in Hilo with the Merry Monarch, Highly Volleyball Tournament, the canoe regattas. We have visitors coming to our island, coming to Hilo, and we need to be able to make that accommodation to capitalize on the, you know, the monies coming in. So, you know, the revitalization is only going to be what's best for us. More hotels, being able to provide jobs for our local residents so that they don't have to commute all the way over to the west side for work. They can work here in town. But I do have one concern with the redevelopment, you know, and it comes from our issue of dealing with our homeless population and affordable housing. Because what I see in the vision of this new development plan, where we have 3 buildings that currently house a lot of our local residents in District 3 in that area, I don't see those buildings as part of this conceptual plan. And my concern is, where are our local residents going to move to? You know, we know, I know Kai's here, and we talked about Lanakila, you know, and the housing project there, and where are we at there, and what is the potential of getting people in there? How many units are even available, and what does the timeline look like? We need to be able to speak about all these different components of this redevelopment of that area, so that we are able to transition the residents out, so that we're not faced with a bigger homelessness problem.
Ms. Klee, do you think the work of this authority will be able to go forward? Do you think?
I believe so.
Ms. Leloy, I want you to comment on the Banyan Drive area and really how you think the plan is going to actually get moved forward. Because we understand the state is not exactly been helpful for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years in the Banyan Drive area. That's an editorial comment.
Right. So for me, the biggest challenge is a lot of the properties are under executive order with the state. So the very first step would be to get the state to transfer all of that ownership over to the county. And then the next biggest step would be funding. How do we pay for it all? We also have Mary Brazier, who sits on the Redevelopment Commission. I also had an opportunity to talk to other members of that commission and the planning department. The plan is a good fit, especially as it begins to address what's going on with our harbors, creating all of that cruise ship opportunities, people walking from the cruise ship to downtown Hilo. So from the harbor, the redevelopment of the harbor, the redevelopment of Banyan Drive, the Parks and Trailways program that is being headed up by our Rotary Club and a lot of private interest there. And downtown Hilo creates this nice natural fit for huge economic growth and potential. But again, back to the real issue, it's the state hanging on to those executive orders and then transferring them, which I don't think they would do, but it's that and the money.
Okay, thank you. Now, Banyan Drive area is not specifically in your district, obviously, but if you would like to make a comment about that, since you will be on the county council, please feel free to do so. Ms. O'Hara?
Well, I'm not up to speed on the most current things being dealt with by the committee. I was involved in the beginning stages of this redevelopment, and I served on the Envision Downtown Hilo 2025 committee for about 5 years, 2005 to 2010. And that was part of the extended plan because, as Susan Leloy just explained, the plan is to allow visitors coming in via via cruise boats, to access downtown Hilo through pedestrian paths and make it a lot more user-friendly than it currently is. And the whole area does need to be redeveloped. There is a sense that it's not offering the best visitor services in its current state. And I've had recent visitors comment about what appears to them as a bit of dilapidated buildings and that sort of thing. So it's very much in need of this project, but we need to do it correctly and make sure that we're not displacing families that have lived in the area for a long period of time, or at least providing alternative housing when we do so. So there are many concerns to address, and it is a long-term project, and if the state will give up its executive orders on those properties, that's still up in the air. So it's a long-term project, but one that's very much needed.
Ms. Green, do you want to make any comments on Banyan Drive area?
I've seen the general plan, but I'm not really familiar with it.
Thank you so much.